Good morning, everybody. My name is Jason. I am the Dope Fisher with Jay. I've had some few questions. Well, I asked a question: what should be my first actual video fishing related? And I've had some ideas, so I was going to try to do that today. This is the 23rd of May on a Saturday. My chance to just relax. Had a full week of work, so I'm just having fun and relaxing. Brand new GoPro, which I love this one versus my Hero 2, but this is a great one. What I'm gonna just tell you right now is some of the fishing line I normally use and how I came up to be using those. So as we know, when we first start fishing, well, especially in the modern day, like, back in the day, it was pretty much not fluorocarbon, but monofilament. Monofilament line is good in certain things you use. Long time ago, that was pretty much the kind of line we used. Either you was beginning fishing or you was expert fishing. Now, I'm talking about long time ago, like in the 80s and early 90s. At that time, I don't think they had made, braid or fluorocarbon. So that was the thing. We lost a good fish, and we kind of realized we need heavier line to catch the big ones or tire them out. Now, at that time, we didn't know about all the drags and stuff like that. Well, I didn't. So, in the duration of me using bait casters and knowing a little bit more about bass fishing in, I say maybe about my between 13 and 15 years old, I learned something new. So in that point, I said, I want to start doing more stuff. So I upgraded from monofilament to braid. Now, when I started using braid, I realized like I can do a whole lot. Because if you go bad fishing and you get snagged on lily pads or brush or trees or anything, use a crate bait, got caught up on a log in the water, you do stuff like that, not the times your line's gonna snap. So the reason why is that it heats up when it stretches. It has a whole lot of give. Now, the problem is with a whole lot of give, pretty much happens. It's almost like a rubber band. When you pull it, you feel it, it heats up. When it heats up, eventually it's gonna get weak in that heat up area, and then it's gone. So you picture using even a 15-pound test line of monofilament and hooked on to a 10 or 12 pound, even an 8-pounder that's highly aggressive. If she keep pulling more and more, that line gonna get more hot, and then all of a sudden you're gonna go. So that's the reason I kind of died down for that. Now I'm gonna pick that back up when I start going fishing on the boat, because that's good for finesse rigging. But I'm gonna go to the next line that I started using. Now, this line I started using was the actual braided line. Of course, I always love forest green with braided line. It's very natural, very detailed. Some people actually use any other kind, which I have no problem with that. But my first one I ever used, and I still use as today, is the Power Pro from Bass Pro Shop. This is the one I use. Now, I don't have any monofilament right now, which I'm going to eventually get there when I start fishing on boats, because I want to start doing more finesse rigging. But this is a good trait. This is something new. Now, let's put this out real quick. You may not be able to see this, but to have 15 to 20-pound monofilament, it was really thick. Just to have the strength. All right. So with braid, exactly what it is. You have certain twine that's been braided into a fine line and continue to braid over till you get to a strength. Now the great thing is that you can have the small line and it has about 10 to 15 times as stronger as the monofiller. Now as you see, I'm gonna try to be close up. You might not can see. If you see that is a very thin line. That line is literally thin. It's like, think of it almost like actually sewing yarn. So now this right here is a 50-pound. As you see, this is a 50-pound test line. That's a big difference. That's a real big difference, as people say. If I can find a niche, it's gonna tell me. There we go, find a niche. Come here. All right, so that's 50, right? This is 65. So what I'm gonna do, if you see the difference, let me know. But the top is 65, the bottom is 50. Now, when I first started using braid, I was going with maybe like 20 pounds, 30 pounds, which ideally I had no problem with. But you know, that was when I was bank fishing. Sometimes I realized like I need something stronger. If I'm going to any kind of brush, any kind of structure, so I started using 40 pounds and 50 pounds. Now I realize like if I don't go on the boat, I need 65 pounds. Cause I will, it's one thing to hook on a bass and fight him in the lily pads and keep it line tight, keep it line tight, keep it line tight, and hopefully that he jumps up and get out. But sometimes it don't work. Now with that braided line, it will literally slice through lily pads, fresh lily pads, and I love it. So I kept using that. So now what I'm using, of course, go ahead and use Power Pro. And now I've got a new acquired taste to certain brands. And I've used them. Some places, some actually fishing stuff I've been using them. So if you can go recall back to my first boat flip, my first boat flip was with Power Pro. All right. Boat flipper part 2 was with the YoZuri braided line. Now, this is something serious. I didn't really pay attention to it. So the feel of it is very interesting. It doesn't feel like your old-fashioned, you can feel the braid. It feels like it has a gloss to it. But no matter what, it is strong. Oh, if you call back, I didn't have a video, I had a small clip that I caught a bass. Where is she? Oh, she right there. Ooh, that's what it is. Boat flip, boat flip, boat flip, boat flip. So, maybe about 2 weeks ago. Now, the other one is a Suffix 832. Now, this one feels like a Power Pro, but it's still good. I feel like these three, I cannot fail. I cannot fail with this at all. Now, for certain places, you always want to make sure that you have the right tackle. Not just always heavier line, you're going to win. It's not that, because you do have lighter line can help. Now, if you don't want to go with braid, because you know sometimes with braid, fish will see that braid, especially when you try to do crate baits, wacky rigs, chicken rigs, needle rigs, drop shots. Some bass will be very distinctively seeing that. So what you want to do, you want to blend in so the bass won't get spooked by the line, right? So of course we had a conversation about monofiller. Well, monofiller, of course, is a good line. And all depending on what you're using, it gets to where it needs to be. Monofiller is kind of a heavier line. It gets you down to the bottom with a little bit of weight quicker. Now, what if I told you there's a line in between that's stronger like the Braid line, but has the same nook as the monofiller? Now you may be like, okay, what it is? What is this, Jason? What is this DFJ? Dogfish and J. What is the middle one that could get strong as a Braid but look like a monofiller? How can you find something like that? How? I don't know how, but I know where I can get it from. So with this one, this is what we call a fluorocarbon. It has the strength of a Braid, but as you see, the same nook as a monofiller. Now this one right here is a P line. Now a lot of people will go with spider wire. Now me, I don't knock on spider wire. I really personally don't like spider wire because it don't have that true castability to me on bait casters. Now you do spider wire on spinning rods, that probably works still. I think I used that maybe a few times and I was like, okay, it is what it is. But what I normally use with this, of course I use with bait casters and spinning rods. These, on spinning rods, this is my go-to line. No matter what, well, my go-to brand. I have 12 pound on this one. This is my bait casters. So I have a 10 pound on my spinning rod. Now you'll say 10 pound, man, Jason, you gonna break something. You gonna break something. I'm telling you right now, fluorocarbon is strong, just like Braid. Now I'm not saying it's gonna give you the whole entire strip like you want to, but I guarantee you right now, if you get something to snag, you 9 or 10 times gonna pull it before it snaps. All depends on how you tie your line in a knot. But between the fluorocarbon and the Braid, I won't fail. I will not miss a bass. Only thing I don't like about the fluorocarbon is when you can't, of course, you know, like a jack. Now I'm in Florida. I'm in Tallahassee, Florida. We have those little small little jacks, which is a very premature version of muskies and pikes. They have sharp teeth. Now they can slice this. They can slice the braided line. So that's just the con of it. But outside of that, a bass ain't gonna break this line. It's not gonna break it all clear like that. So there are 2 knots that I prefer to use when I have this. I'm gonna get me some rope and I'm actually gonna do a tutorial how my knots are. Gotta get some rope. But with the fluorocarbon, there's a knot called a clinch knot. Very good. The majority of the time I use this line is, of course, where I'm throwing on the bottom, jigging and stuff like that. Spinning rod, a very light tackle, going through brush, close to lily pads. If I just want to get very finesse, make sure, you know, my wacky rigs, my trick worms, stuff like that, my lizards, my brush hog, my Z-mans, my Z-crawls, my Zoom Ultra Crawl Vibes, Crawl Daddy and stuff like that, my Venoms, my Gamblers. You can actually use this. Honestly, you can use this as far as with your swim baits too. Not the big ones. Braid would be the best one, but your soft plastic swim baits, spinner baits, crank baits, jerk baits. Very good because the bass don't see this. Now, if you can look at one time I put a small video and I caught that nice bass off a crankbait, I was using this line. Perfect for it. All right. So, DFJ, what can you really tie with the actual braided line? Top water. I'm talking all top water. You got your poppers, your pencil baits, your walking dogs, your prop baits, your frogs, your frog poppers, your buzz baits. You can even do a spinner bait sometimes if you really want to. All depending on your structure. Do that as well. Now as well, that's a top water. Now if you want to go into more, your jigs. If you're pitching, you're flipping, you're skipping, you're doing deep like Carolina rig and stuff like that, I'm telling you right now, this is your go-to. This is your go-to. Telling you. You will thank me later on. Some people